Hello, and welcome back to the Magic Mindfulness Podcast. I am so excited that you're here. Today, we are going to be talking about the transformative power of mindfulness in your life. And specifically, because you may be asking yourself this, what is magic mindfulness anyway? Well, let's start with mindfulness. I love words and I'm always curious about the meaning behind them. So, one of my favorite definitions that I have found for mindfulness comes from mindful.org. And it says that mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. So, let me read that again. Mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around us. Now, another definition of mindfulness that really resonated with me comes from Thich Nhat Hanh, who beautifully refers to mindfulness as keeping one's consciousness alive. Keeping one's consciousness alive. It's all about awakening to the magic of the present moment, recognizing the miracles unfolding within and around us every single day. So think about it. Let me ask you this. How often are you truly present in your day to day experiences? How often are you truly aware of where you are and what you're doing and not feeling overly reactive or overwhelmed by what's going on around you? Pretty powerful stuff, right? So now let's talk about how I find magic in mindfulness. Again, before I dive into that, we'll talk about what magic actually means in this context. And for this purpose, I like the definition from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. Magic is an extraordinary power or influence seemingly from a supernatural source. So, as busy as life is, as hectic as life is, as easily as it is to get distracted, to me, it feels like it's much more easy for us to be pulled into all these different directions all at the same time than it is to be fully present, fully focused on what we're doing in the moment on any given day. And so that's why I call it magic mindfulness. For me, magic mindfulness is all about finding wonder in the everyday. It's about finding the magic in the mundane, recognizing the power of being fully engaged in each and every moment without getting caught up in past regrets or future worries. Like magic, mindfulness allows us to tap into a wellspring of inner peace and wisdom that is always available to us right here and right now. So, magic mindfulness, it's all about the practice. We call it a practice because it takes work, right? We do it, we come back to the practice over and over again. And the more we practice, the easier it gets. Coming back to the moment, coming back to the experience of the day that we're in, the experience of the moment that we're in, not letting our lives pass us by because we are so focused on what's happened in the past or what may be happening in the future or all of these distractions around us all the time in the busy world that we live in these days. Magic mindfulness grounds us in the fullness of the present moment, allowing us to more fully and deeply engage with our lives so that we can feel more satisfied, more fulfilled, more joyful, more present and engaged. So, what does it mean to be more mindful? Well, mindfulness is at the heart of everything I teach, both in my yoga classes and with my coaching clients in all the courses that I create. But what exactly does it mean to be more mindful? Well, if you think about it, like we were just talking about, most of our lives are so immersed in just analyzing the past or planning for the future. And because of this, a lot of the time we don't even notice what's happening right now. And I shared a little bit about my own experience with this in one of my yoga classes recently. I was so caught up in my head that I almost missed noticing a beautiful rainbow that was right in front of me because I wasn't focused on my surroundings. I wasn't focused on the moment that I was in. I was focused on worrying about, I don't even know what I was worrying about at this point. What I do remember was that beautiful rainbow. And then I almost missed it. And thank goodness I happened to look up and it jolted me back into the present moment so that I could come back to my life, to my time, to my day. So oftentimes we just go through the motions in our daily life, right? Without fully experiencing it. How many times have you, I don't know, gotten to work and wondered if you turn the coffee pot off or, Did you remember to turn the oven off? We go through these routine motions without being present, without being mindful, without being aware. And then we don't even remember what we did. We don't even remember the experience of our daily life. We go through the motions, we're not fully experiencing it. But if we want more happiness and success and joy and fulfillment in our daily lives, it can help so much to practice becoming more mindful. And like I said, it is a practice. We just come back to it over and over again. Another thing that I really appreciate about mindfulness is that it can help us to find gratitude for all the little things in our life. It helps us to address issues and people in our life that may not be so good for us anymore and find ways to keep what works while releasing what doesn't with a sense of grace and acceptance. This path of magic mindfulness can lead us to better life acceptance, as well as an ability to accept events for what they are in that moment in time. So let's talk about some of the benefits of practicing magic mindfulness. Now, maybe you have come across mindfulness. It's kind of like a buzzword, right? A trendy buzzword, but it's not just a buzzword. Mindfulness is truly transformative. It's almost like a superpower these days, right? With as many distractions and as many different directions as we're being pulled in on any given day, mindfulness, magic mindfulness, it's like it's it can feel impossible. It feels like a superpower. But with practice, it gets easier, like I said. So maybe you came across mindfulness in the bookstore or as part of a yoga class or video, or even in different health and wellness stores or magazines. You might already know that there are many different aspects of mindfulness. Meditation is just one of them. That seems to be one that we think about first. But what you may not know is that there are many benefits to mindfulness in your life. So if you're wondering if it's just too much effort to try to practice mindfulness in your day to day, and there's not enough reward for that time and energy, not enough bang for your buck, I want to invite you to consider these three benefits of mindfulness in your life. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, my friend. The benefits of mindfulness are so many. We're not going to get into all of those today. That's why I encourage you to subscribe to the podcast so that you can follow along on this journey with me. But for today's purposes, I'm going to highlight three different benefits of magic mindfulness. One is that it helps to reduce anxiety and stress. This was a big one for me. This was one of the main things that really guided me towards practicing mindfulness more regularly in my day to day life because I was just so overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. I needed something. There are a variety of different techniques in mindfulness, different mindfulness techniques that can help with anxiety and reducing stress. Breathing techniques, meditation, mind mapping. Those are just a few of the methods of mindfulness that you can practice to help to reduce stress and anxiety. The key point to remember with each of these methods, though, is that they benefit you by helping you to refocus and reduce the triggers in your day to day life. They can help you to sort out the issues that you would normally stress out over and eventually feel anxious over or anxiety about. Mindfulness can also help you to cope with future issues so that you can avoid that immediate anxious reaction and help reduce your anxiety and your overall stress regarding that situation. And again, I could do an entire episode just about this topic. So we're just hitting it at a very high level today. All right, my friend, now let's talk about body acceptance. This may not be something that you automatically think about when you think about magic mindfulness, but the truth of the matter is body acceptance can have a huge impact on your stress, your anxiety, how you view the world around you, and the quality of how you move throughout your day to day, the level of satisfaction you feel in your life. Over time, by practicing mindfulness, by practicing meditation, by practicing other mindfulness techniques, you may dig deeper into what is triggering your body related issues, including obstacles and unhealthy options that you may turn to when you are feeling stressed. So, this has certainly been my own journey. And again, we'll get into that more as we move throughout the podcast. So, I hope to see you again in future episodes. But mindfulness has had a huge impact for me in my life as far as body acceptance and body positivity. Once you begin practicing mindfulness, once you find techniques that work for you, there's a really good chance in my mind that you're going to start to gain a deeper appreciation for yourself, for your body, for your mind, for your journey, for what's brought you here, and for where you are, meeting yourself exactly where you are in the moment that you are in. All right, the third benefit of mindfulness that I want to touch on today is life acceptance. And the reality is, let's be honest, sometimes we're just not happy with our lives. We're not happy with different aspects that we feel we can't change. Sometimes we feel like we just have to deal with whatever we're facing, whatever we're challenged by. And, I have a feeling that there has been a whole lot of that over these past few years because of COVID, right? I know that for me, I felt powerless. I felt stressed. I felt anxious. And of course, it's human nature. We want to control things. We want to know how things are going to turn out. And that's just not the way things go sometimes, my friend. So, this feeling of not being satisfied, of not being happy with our lives, of not being able to control things, of not having a way to change things, it can lead to depression. It can lead to other issues, including body issues. But magic mindfulness, coming back to the moment, appreciating the miracle of being alive in the moment that you're in, it can help to find gratitude for the little things in your life. It can help to address issues, even people in your life that may be toxic, not good for you, things you need to release. And magic mindfulness can help you to find ways to keep what works, to get rid of what doesn't, with a sense of grace and acceptance. This is a path that can lead us to better life acceptance, as well as an ability to accept events for what they are in that moment. Now, these three benefits are just a starting point for mindfulness in your life. So let's recap. We talked about mindfulness to help reduce stress and anxiety, mindfulness to help improve body acceptance, and mindfulness to help improve life acceptance. So, again, this is just a starting point, the tip of the iceberg. We're going to get a lot deeper into this as this podcast evolves. I could talk about mindfulness all day, my friends. So, we have plenty to talk about. I have a feeling that a host of other benefits will start to reveal themselves to you as you become deeper and more involved in the process. So trust the journey, trust the process, meet yourself where you're at, and just keep coming back to it again and again and again. So don't just take my word for it, though. Here's what one of my students had to say. She said, I feel calmer and more centered. I now sleep better. My anxiety has lessened, and I use the techniques to lower my stress. So, we've talked about what magic mindfulness means to me. We've talked about some of the benefits of practicing magic mindfulness in your day to day life. Now, let's talk about a few different ways that you can actually practice mindfulness in your daily life. So, one of my favorite ways to practice mindfulness in your daily life is by simply, I say simply, easier said than done, by fully experiencing what is happening right now. So let me ask you this. As you listen to this podcast, or if you are watching the video on YouTube, or if you're reading it on my blog, as you are experiencing this message, are you also watching TV or listening to music or trying to stop your cat from jumping on the kitchen table? Are you distracted? Are you multitasking? If so, try experiencing this message and blocking everything else out. Try single tasking. It's only going to take a few minutes to get through the rest of this episode without interruption. So, if it resonates with you, challenge yourself to single task, to focus on the moment you're in, on one thing for just the next few minutes, and then just see how that alters your experience of this practice, right? Your experience of this experience, your experience of this moment. So, fully experiencing what's happening right now, mind, body, heart, and soul. That's one way to practice mindfulness in your daily life. Another way is by letting go of expectations of what you're experiencing in the present moment. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you have an important event to attend. It's easy to allow expectations to rule the moment. You may even go into the situation with so many ideas of what you expect to happen that it ruins your actual experience. So let me see if I can give you an example of this. I was going to see a movie and I had heard so many good things about this movie. I thought it was going to be amazing. And then I got there and we watched it and I was like, huh, I wasn't that impressed. It was all right. It wasn't bad. But I wonder if I hadn't had such high expectations, if I hadn't expected it to be like mind-blowingly good, that I would have been like, wow, that was really good. But because I had set the bar so incredibly high, I don't know if that movie ever had the chance to reach my expectations. Another example of this is, let's say that you have a presentation to give and you're nervous. Public speaking is nerve-wracking to say the least. So let's say you've got this presentation that you need to give and you're feeling super, super nervous about it. That anxiety, that nervousness leading up to the moment can overwhelm your experience of the fun of preparing for it, right? Like, I don't know about you, but I really enjoy the experience of preparing for these types of events. But then the anxiety of the event itself can kind of overshadow the joy and the satisfaction and the gift that you're sharing with the world. So, letting go of expectations about what you're experiencing in the present moment. Try to stay grounded. Try to stay in the moment you're in. When you notice yourself, worrying about the future, bring yourself back to right now. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Come back to the moment that you're in so you can truly feel and experience what is happening in your life right now. Now, another way that we can practice mindfulness in daily life is by finding pleasure in every task each moment. I'll get a little deeper into this in just a moment, but even tasks like washing the dishes, which used to be my least favorite chore, now it's one of my favorites, believe it or not. Again, I'll get into this in a minute. But if you shift your perspective, it can really help to you feel the magic in each moment. You find the magic in the mundane. You find the miracle in this life that we are given, right? So, what do miracles have to do with dishes? It's a tough one. I know. Like I said, this used to be my least favorite chore. We don't have a dishwasher, but it has slowly become one of my favorite chores. You can enjoy the feel of the soft bubbles on your hands and the warm water, as well as the satisfaction of that end result of doing the task by celebrating a mission accomplished, right? A job well done. So let me share with you the teaching that inspired my shift in perspective. And again, this comes from Thich Nhat Hanh. And he says, if while washing dishes, we think only of the cup of tea that awaits us, thus hurrying to get the dishes out of the way as if they were a nuisance, then we are not washing the dishes to wash the dishes. What's more, we are not alive during the time we are washing the dishes. In fact, we are completely incapable of realizing the miracle of life while standing at the sink. If we can't wash the dishes, the chances are we won't be able to drink our tea either. While drinking the cup of tea, we will only be thinking of other things, barely aware of the cup in our hands. Thus, we are sucked away into the future and we are incapable of actually living 1 minute of life. Powerful, right? This is the magic of mindfulness, my friend, allowing us to live our life. All right, another way to practice mindfulness is by not judging the experience, just experiencing it. Now, one thing that gets in the way of being mindful is placing judgment on an event or experience. So the next time that you go to an event, or even when you're eating dinner, see if you can allow yourself to focus only on the experience you're in right now without putting any type of judgment, good or bad, on the event. Remember, we call mindfulness a practice for a reason. So see if you can practice releasing judgment and expectations around your experience. All right, another way is to bring awareness to everything you do every day. Again, easier said than done. Mindfulness, magic mindfulness can bring so much awareness to the things that you do each and every day. If you usually eat without thought, think about it as you eat. If you normally multitask, see if you can practice single tasking. When you do things in your life with full awareness, it's generally more enjoyable. You are alive in the moment you're in. You're fully experiencing this one moment that you have right now. So if you feel like your life is too rushed, I'll encourage you to find ways to bring yourself into the present moment, the moment you're in right now, so that you can fully experience the magic of mindfulness. You can fully experience what's happening right now in your life. Stop thinking and start feeling. Feel the crisp and cool air on your skin as you walk out into a new day. Smell the fragrant air when you go to the park and enjoy breathing in and breathing out right now. All right, we have covered a lot in this episode. If you are ready to embrace a more magic, mindful, fulfilling life, I would love for you to start your journey today. I have got a free meditation for you, the Magic Mindfulness Meditation, to help you get started on this journey. It's only about 9 minutes long, and it's going to help to ground you into the magic and the miracle of the present moment and introduce some simple mindfulness practices that you can bring into your life at any time on any day. You can check it out in the link below and just give it a try if you feel inspired. Magic Mindfulness Meditation, again, only about 9 minutes. Practicing mindfulness for just a few minutes a day. It has such a ripple effect into the quality of your life. At least that's been my own experience. So start your journey today if you feel inspired. And remember that small steps lead to big transformations. So take it easy, take it small, enjoy your journey, meet yourself where you're at. Let's create a more mindful and meaningful life together, my friend. Make it a magical day.